Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruchakwadash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone at Ruah, and Shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. I'm the brother Kalab from the GMS UK, on a forecasters camp, coming back at you with another lesson to help edify those of which I spoke of. So I was just watching this little clip here that was posted on LBC, which is a radio station here in the UK. It's quite popular, which is called Leading Britain's Conversation. Usually they have like it's basically that it's a radio station where they don't play music. It's talk radio where they discuss the current events that are taking place in the news and stuff like that. So on this particular clip, you got one of the former UK what do you call them? He was the leader of the Labour Party for a time, Jeremy Corbyn, and he's got a bit of a reputation for being quite outspoken. And he's speaking here on the situation of Donald Trump basically pretty much invading Venezuela and arresting their president. And he says something very interesting here, which I thought was worth speaking on through the spirit. So let's play this clip.
It's like a sort of 21st century version of a Roman emperor going off to capture a rebellious leader in Gaul or somewhere across the Roman emperor, dragging them back to Rome, making them go through a show trial and then executing them. And this, I'm not saying they're going to execute him, but this is deliberate and total humiliation. And I think it will blow back in Trump's face and that of the administration. People don't like that.
Do you think around South America in particular, including Cuba, people are looking at this and thinking it could be us next?
People in Cuba and Colombia are alarmed at the moment for obvious reasons. Cuba has been under sanctions ever since 1959, has obviously huge economic problems as a result of that, and they feel if they can do it here in Venezuela, then they can do it there. So I think the statement made by the Latin American leaders over the weekend is a very strong one. And the statement made this morning at the Madeira by Claudia Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, is also a very strong one. So I think there's going to be a growing
pushback.
Latin American unity on this, which is transcending the left-right difference across the continent.
If you look at Venezuela as it has been under Maduro, it's hard to think of a worse-run country. The hyperinflation, the extrajudicial killings, torture, the incarceration of people, including children. It's been an absolute basket case. And therefore, some people will say, for all the swagger and the aggression of what President Trump has done, it may well leave Venezuela in a better place than it was before.
It's never a reason to go in that you disagree with the way a country is run or disagree with what it's about, because international law is very, very clear. You cannot transcend national borders in order to change government. That is absolutely clear. And surely that is, in the future, as of now, a matter for the Venezuelan people. And now Delcy Rodriguez has been sworn in as interim president. I don't really know her. I hope she stays there. I hope she's able to govern. And I hope, above all, the sanctions are lifted so that the terrible shortages the Venezuelan people are facing will be diminished.
There's the old principle.
Yeah, so basically what's happening is the world is waking up to the fact that America is essentially going around bullying all these smaller countries and not taking into consideration international law. But this is Esau's nature. It's no surprise for us that are in the truth to see Esau moving like this. But the point is that the rest of the world is beginning to wake up to the fact that America is basically disregarding international law and just doing whatever the hell it wants. It's essentially breaking their own treaties. Yeah. Now, this is the book of Obadiah. Obadiah. This is Obadiah 1 and verse 1, because this all plays into prophecy, because at the end of the day, the beast's gonna have to hate the whore. That's a fulfillment of Revelation 17, which I'm gonna get it in a minute. But let me read this one first. This is Obadiah 1 and 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. Now Edom is a nation of predominantly called you so-called white people on the face of the earth. You're the descendants of your biblical patriarch Esau, right? Thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small amongst the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. See? So before Esau goes down, all these prophecies have to be fulfilled. And Obadiah 1 and verse 2 is part of those prophecies. And that's what's being fulfilled right now, because the rest of the world is waking up to the nature of these Edomites. They can't be trusted. Yeah? The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, yeah, and this is a marker of who these people are, because they always use the eagle in their symbolism to identify themselves. What did they say when they landed on the moon? The eagle has landed, yeah? What did the Romans have as their symbol? The eagle. Even the Nazis had the symbol of the eagle. The Americans had the symbol of the eagle. This is something that they've always symbolized themselves as going back in history. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, yeah, they tried to claim that they went to the moon. That was in 1969. And though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Yes, Esau's been on a social and economic decline ever since 1969, which is also when this truth started to really flourish around the same time. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? I want to make this point. It says that all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, and they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. I want to jump to Revelation 17. Yeah, this is what I wanted to read. This is, and the 10 horns, Revelation 17:16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. So who is the whore? The whore that sitteth upon the beast is, the whore that sitteth upon the beast is Babylon the Great, which is America. The beast represents the EU. So the 10 horns, forgive me. I said that, I know I was going to say that incorrectly. Let me start again. The whore that sitteth upon the beast is Babylon the Great, America, right? And America came out of the UK. This is the mother of the beast. But the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, which represents the 10 found in EU nations, these shall hate the whore. I'm reading Revelation 17:16 here. These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So we're coming into that time where all these nations are going to begin to turn against the whore. Now the beast represents the revived ancient Roman Empire. The 10 horns, as I said, represents the 10 founding nations of the EU, and the whore itself, which the apostle John saw in his vision, represents Babylon the Great. Let's read up into this. Revelation 17. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. That great whore is America, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Yeah, America's philosophies, America's doctrine has spread their democracy You know, their way of life is spread all across the earth. They call that, you know, as I said, their democracy. They're the so-called leaders of the free world. They call themselves, and a lot of these nations have been following after the ways of Babylon the Great, which is America. Verse 3. So he carried me in this way in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a cup in her hand full of the abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. So this was a great mystery, but that mystery is being revealed in these last times. Now the world is beginning to see who these prophecies are speaking about. Now we've broken it down through the Spirit, and you know, the elect have an understanding of these things. But what's happening is that the rest of the world is beginning to see America for what it is. And as I said, what's going to happen is these nations are going to end up turning against Babylon the Great, which is America, and burning her with fire. That's the prophecy. I'll read it again. Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. If we jump to Revelation 17. Revelation 18, forgive me. Going to Revelation 18 and 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So read Revelation 18 and 9, forgive me. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. So America is I'm reading these verses backwards, man. Read Revelation 18 and 8. Therefore shall her plagues. Let's read Revelation 18 and 7. 6 even. 5 even. 4. Revelation 18 and 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partaker of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in 1 day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. Now I want to go back to what Jeremy Corbyn was saying, because he was saying that Trump is pushing us towards an eternal war. Now, this would be true if Esau were allowed to continue forever, but the Most High is not going to allow Esau to continue forever. What he's going to do, which is what he's already done, we're already in the formative stages of it, is going to push the world into World War III, but that's going to be the war to end all wars, and at the culmination of that, Yahushua is going to return. You know? And once Yahushua returns, he's going to set everything in order. He's going to take Esau out of his position of rulership, and Esau will never be in power ever again. This is the last hurrah for Esau. So what Trump's saying is that Trump is pushing us towards eternal war. It would be true if Esau were allowed to continue forever, but he's not going to be allowed to continue forever, because as I said, the Most High is going to intervene by sending his son Yahushua back to establish his kingdom on the earth. And when Yahushua's kingdom is established, there's no nation that's going to try and overthrow Yahushua's kingdom. It's going to be an everlasting kingdom, and that is essentially the kingdom of heaven for us Israelites, because we're going to be in the position of rulership, and none of these 8 nations are ever going to dare try and rise up against us again. Let me get one precept before I close out. This is 2nd Ezra's 13th chapter. Because when Yahushua first returns, these nations are going to try and fight him, but it's already prophesied as to what's going to happen and what the outcome's going to be. 2 Ezra 13:1. And it came to pass, after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man, speaking of Yahushua, waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, because Yahushua is coming with an innumerable multitude of angels to subdue this earth, right? And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and that's talking about the lasers coming out of the chariots that Yahushua is going to be in, right? And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So that's the armies of the earth joining together to try and fight against Yahushua and the angels. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. So it's going to be a huge chariot that Yahushua is in. But I would have seen the region or place where the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. Yeah, so these nations are going to be terrified when Yahushua comes back, but the Most High is going to put the spirit on them to try and fight Yahushua, right? And lo, I saw, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw as that he had sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. So that's the prophet Ezra's describing with the language he had and what he saw. So he described it as being sparks and tempests, but that's really talking about the laser beams coming out of the chariots and blasting Esau's military. Well, not just Esau, the combined forces of the military might of this world, which is going to be led by Esau. All right? And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was afraid. All right? So that's the type of power that Yahushua is coming back with to destroy the armies of this world, which are going to be led by Esau, the Edomites. All right? Which is, Americans always pride themselves on their great military power and their might. You hear Donald Trump even saying the other day, we've got the greatest military in the world. They think they can't be taken down, but the Most High is going to prove them different. As I said in Obadiah 1, it tells you that Esau is going down, right? So yeah, this quote here, we're heading for eternal war. No, we're not heading for eternal war. We're heading for eternal peace. Because when Yahushua comes back, he's going to subdue the nations of this world. But if Esau were allowed to continue forever, yes, there would be eternal war. Because the scriptures even say, if Yahushua didn't come back, roughly paraphrasing, there'd be no flesh left to be saved. Because Esau would destroy absolutely everything, including himself. So yeah, that's just a quick hit for the lesson for the spirit. I was just listening to this and I thought, yeah, man, let me speak upon this. Because yeah, Esau's being shown, man. He's being revealed for the deceiver, the devil he is, for the violent man, the man of war, who is as deaf and cannot be satisfied. He's being revealed as to who he is in these last days before Yahushua finally takes him out of the way. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well. And shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. I'll catch you in the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom for now.